On December 5, 2023, Brave Combat Federation welcomes back home the largest combat sports festival in the world. Totally made in Bahrain, the Brave International Combat Week traveled the world this year. From Belgrade, Serbia to Bogota, Colombia, hundreds of fighters tested themselves under the brightest lights in martial arts. Thousands of people witnessed their efforts live and millions at home. Now, it's time to return to its birthing place, the Khalifa Sports City Arena in the Kingdom of Bahrain. For the first time, 3 Brave CF world-class events, plus the IMMAF Asian Championships, take place in 11 days' time. And it all starts with a world title doubleheader at Brave CF 77. In the main event of the evening, the most feared and obsessed fighter on Brave CF's roster returns to make history. Brave CF lightweight champion Abdisalam Kubanichbek will attempt to become the first man to successfully defend the 155-pound world title when he meets former king of the division and Brave CF legend Lucas Minero Martins. In the co-main event, the best super welterweight fighter on the planet faces the biggest test of his storied career. Marcin Bandel will defend his 175-pound crown against the undefeated finishing machine Kamal Magomedov. In a historic year for Brave Combat Federation, the celebrations couldn't start with a better fight card. But before the global stars of the show take over the Brave CF Arena in the Pearl of the Arabian Gulf, gear up for Road to Brave CF 77. A product of Brave CF's worldwide search for talents, Abdisalam Kubanichbek was first spotted at Brave CF 32 when he made his official debut for the organization in his home country of Kyrgyzstan. He impressed enough to earn a multi-fight contract, but had to wait nearly a year to fight again. At Brave CF 45, he fought for the first time in the Kingdom of Bahrain and has never looked back. As he continued to forge a path of destruction in the lightweight division, it became harder and harder to find opponents for him. After he made Rolando D quit on the stool between rounds during their main event back at Brave CF 47, what was already hard became almost impossible. For an entire year, Brave CF found opponents for Kubanichbek who would drop out either before the contract was signed or after learning more about the boogeyman of the lightweight division. With uncertainties over the return of then-champion Ahmed Amir, the choice was made to put an interim title on the line. Kubanichbek took the fight against former champion Clayton Silva and was beating him when the fight was paused. Silva complained of an illegal blow, and the bout was ruled a no contest. An incensed Kubanichbek finally showed his emotions. It was anger, frustration, and obsession. He wanted to be champion so bad, he took the belt himself. Even though that wasn't enough to give him the actual interim title, he received another shot at provisional gold, and this time, he took it. Facing a ferocious Olzas Eskariev, Kubanichbek was tested for the first time inside the Brave CF arena, but as is often the case with true champions, he passed that test with flying colors, beating Eskariev and earning the Brave CF interim world title. But now, it was time to unify. With Ahmed Amir out of the picture, former training partner Kamil Magomedov was scheduled to take on Kubanichbek in the main event of Brave CF 69. Before a sold-out Serbian crowd in Belgrade, Abdisalam Kubanichbek confirmed his status as the most feared man in the organization by beating Kamil and unifying the world title. During his time with Brave CF, he showed how obsessed he is with success and how he will not let anything or anyone get in the way of him achieving his goals. His first goal had now been achieved. Kubanichbek is the reigning Brave CF lightweight champion of the world. But now, a loftier goal remains: to become the first lightweight champion in Brave CF history to successfully defend his title.
Кубанычам очень сложно тренироваться. Он бьет очень сильно и точно.
The obsession is tenfold because the challenge is tenfold.
Иншаллах, я думаю, он не может 5-раундный бой дышать. Я, иншаллах, 3-й раунд или 2-й раунд, концовка, я, иншаллах, задушу. Меня ждет Киргизия, много болельщиков, они радуют. Иншаллах, я выиграю.
At Brave CF 77, Abdisalam Kubanichbek faces a Brave CF legend, a former champion, and the best striker in the division, the man they call Lucas Minero Martins. Born in a small town in Minas Gerais state, Lucas Minero Martins started in martial arts by chance. His sister, a PE teacher, started training Muay Thai and encouraged her baby brother to try his luck. Not only did Martins fall in love with Muay Thai, but he soon started training MMA. In his first year of training, Lucas won 13 professional fights, an admirable feat that showcased how talented he really was. After showcasing that world-class talent across the world, Lucas received the biggest mission of his career, to become the face of Brave Combat Federation in Brazil. He was signed to be the main event of Brave CF3, the organization's first ever show outside Bahrain. In March of 2017, he beat Fabian Galvan at featherweight and called for a title shot against the winner of Elias Budzame and Masio Fullen. Minero even traveled to Abu Dhabi and was cage-side at Brave CF4 when Budzame became the first world champion in the organization's history. However, that fight never materialized. Struggling with the weight, Lucas fell ill on the eve of Brave CF9 and decided to move up to lightweight, his first challenge for the interim title against Luan Miao Santiago. At Brave CF11, they put on perhaps the best title fight ever, and Martins produced one of the biggest turnarounds in MMA, when after losing 3 of the first 4 rounds, he TKO'd Santiago with seconds to go in their fight after an injury caused by a takedown. Soon enough, however, Lucas would be a victim of the same fate. At Brave CF18, he faced Abdul Karim Al-Salwadi and relinquished the title via TKO loss, also due to an injury caused by a takedown. After that disappointment, Lucas pledged for a new chance at featherweight. He headlined Brave CF24, but was defeated in the first round by then-champion Bubba Jenkins in a title fight. Lucas then moved up permanently to lightweight, but his return was a lengthy one. Injuries and a pandemic meant that Minero would only return to action at Brave CF53 2 years after his last bout. He was supposed to face Marcel Grabinski at Brave CF51 a couple months earlier, but his opponent fell ill with minutes to go until their main event. They agreed to face off at Brave CF53 instead, but Grabinski contracted COVID-19 on the fight week and was replaced by a hungry Olas Askarev, who, heavier than Minero, ended up choking out the former champion at home. With a lot to reflect on, Martins went back home and regrouped. During that time, he made his personal life a priority for the first time in 10 years. He got married and was waiting to hear on the sex of his first baby when the call came for him to headline Brave CF60.
That was it! That is the man! He needed the win! He lost the fight! He lost the fight! He lost the fight! He needed to win and he won!
Renewed with energy, the new family man violently knocked out Henrique Marquez and proclaimed he was back.
O Lucas é campeão, não só dentro do ringue, mas fora também, em casa. É homem determinado, focado, e ele está pronto para essa luta.
Baby Clara was born, and she became the center of attention in the Martins household. Feeling like he was fighting for something much bigger than himself now, Lucas thrived. He created his own team, Team Lucas Minero, and asked to fight the toughest fight in the division.
A Team Lucas Mineiro é a extensão da minha família. Eu passo mais tempo aqui do que na minha casa. Estou lutando por essa galera aí que me acompanha, que me motiva, que me inspira, todos os meus atletas, os meus parceiros de treino, meu mestre, os meus mestres. Vou lutar por eles, pela minha família. Estou muito focado e motivado para isso.
Me chamo Caio Nog, sou sócio aqui da Academia Team Lucas Mineiro. amigo do Lucas Mineiro, aluno. E, pô, é muito bom ter o Lucas como mentor, como exemplo. E é um cara muito determinado, muito dedicado no que faz. E isso serve de espelho para todo mundo aqui na academia. Pode ter certeza que ele é um cara de poucas palavras e mais de atitude. Então, se ele falou que vai trazer esse cinturão, o cinturão já é nosso.
Someone that would get him to where he wanted to be, involved, once again, in a world title fight. And that man was Elias Giroun, who had just dominated Olas Eskareev, the last man to beat Lucas. Fighting in his opponent's backyard, Lucas Mineiro took baby Clara to her first international travel and made sure she was watching on as he sent shockwaves through the lightweight division with a huge KO victory over Giroun. The stage was set for the comeback of Mineiro, a family man energized with the possibility of making sure his daughter witnessed her dad as a world champion.
Eu sempre vou ensinar para ela que não existe bicho-papão, que é só nas histórias. Dia 5 de dezembro, eu vou derrubar um para ela ver que é a realidade. Eu tenho certeza que o Cuban Ishbek não está pronto para mim. As pessoas que eu já lutei, os lugares que eu já fui, os prêmios que eu já ganhei, ele não está no meu nível, ele não está pronto para mim.
All right, Brave Nation, this is a very interesting fight because Kuban Michbek has been on an absolute tear of late. He is the most feared man in Brave Combat Federation. However, he is also human. His last fights have shown that. They have shown that he does get hit, he does feel pain, and he can bleed. And there's no one better to test his skills than a world-class striker. And in Lucas Mineiro, we have perhaps the best striker in the Brave Combat Federation lightweight division. He is coming off two absolutely lethal knockouts, and this is just the icing on the cake. For in Brave Combat Federation at 77, we will find out who the best 175-pounder in the world today truly is.
The co-main event of Brave CF 77 features a well-rounded, well-traveled, and prestigious martial artist being the underdog to a less experienced, less traveled fighter. So why is Marcin Bandel still underappreciated? The pride of Poznan, Poland, is now the best super welterweight in mixed martial arts, and he has earned this moniker with a perfect run under Brave Combat Federation. After shocking the world and taking away the undefeated record from Magomedov Ishkanov at Brave CF 54, Marcin earned a shot at the vacant 175-pound title after beating Brazil's #1 welterweight, Luis Felipe Diaz. He faced Ismail Nordiev in the main event of Brave CF 63 as the underdog, like in all of his past and future Brave CF bouts. After being hurt with a punch, Bandel once again flipped the script, knocked Nordiev down, and then finished him with an armbar, becoming the new super welterweight champion of the world.
And now, Brave Combat Federation Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Marcin!
But his short stint with Ismail wasn't without its woes. The punch that rocked Bandel ended up breaking his jaw, and a lengthy rehabilitation process began. After being cleared to fight, he was scheduled to defend the belt against Kamal Magomedov, who was then injured himself.
Staram się cały czas być w gazie, ale jak wiadomo każdemu fighterowi przygotowanie to jest najcięższy, pewnie też najmniej przyjemny okres przed walką. Najgorsze jest zawsze robienie wagi, ja z walki na walkę robię to coraz lepiej, coraz bardziej się w tym odnajduję, coraz większą mam świadomość. A trenuję cały czas, ciężko może przed walkami bardziej, robię to stricte pod daną walkę.
The fight was postponed, but it has been re-signed, and it goes down as the co-main event of Brave CF 77. With a record of 22 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw, the 30-fight veteran Marcin Bandel will be the underdog to a 10-0 Kamal Magomedov. Not even the fact that he has 3 times the number of fights of the challenger can make Bandel the favorite. And that's because he's facing a monster. Up until he signed with Brave Combat Federation, Kamal Magomedov had never met a second round of an MMA fight. All of his 8 previous wins had come by finish within the initial 5 minutes of combat. As a former Titan FC champion in America, the Russian is one of the best undefeated fighters in the world. His variety of strikes, his wrestling control, and the finishing abilities he possesses on the ground make him one of the most sought-after super welterweights on the planet. His stoic demeanor was put to proof in his second Brave CF bout. After blowing through his first opponent, he was matched up with Ali Santalati on the same night Marcin Bandel became the champion. For the first time in his career, Magomedov couldn't finish his opponent in the first round. Most times, fast finishers get frustrated when Plan A doesn't work and end up losing control of the fight, and sometimes even the fight itself. Not Kamal though. He always kept the offensive, showing wisdom beyond his level of experience. He kept pounding on Ali, beautifully defending any takedown attempts from his opponent, and finally earning a third-round stoppage. It was the signal that Kamal was ready for a bigger challenge, and at 175 pounds, there's no bigger challenge than that of Marcin Bandel.
A propos nadchodzącej walki przeciwnika, nothing just respect. Nic nie mogę powiedzieć tak naprawdę. Kolejny wojownik, z którym przyjdzie mi zmierzyć się w klatce.
Камал в клетке покажет хороший бой, поставим перед ним задачу, тупо на 100%. Поединок пройдет не спеша, разбивая соперника и уничтожая его. Стать чемпионом Brave CF – это очень важно для меня, для моей карьеры. Поэтому я очень хочу и стану, иншаллах, чемпионом Brave.
December 5th, Brave Combat Federation returns home for the first of 3 magnificent events as part of the Brave International Combat Week. Brave CF 77 will feature not 1, but 2 World Championship clashes and a fight card filled with the biggest rising superstars in the sport. In the main event of the evening, Abdisalam Kubanichbek, the boogeyman of the lightweight division, will attempt to do what no one else has done, to defend his world title. In front of him lies a legend. Lucas Minero will look to become the first 2-time lightweight world champion in Brave CF history. The co-main event features a clash for the ages between the 2 best super welterweights in the world. The 175-pound champion Marcin Bandel defends the right to be called the best in his division against top contender Kamal Magomedov. 4 world-class fighters, 2 world titles, 1 date with destiny. Brave CF 77. Tune in on Brave TV app, bravecftv.com, and partnered networks around the globe.